We have some upcoming publications for Lamp Theological Institute. One is an expanded version of the Bible Doctrine of Time, and then a very significant work that's in progress right now that Dr. John Penn's labored in extensively. And given the time I need as a research assistant, along with the resources, then this should be forthcoming in just a few weeks, hopefully. It's kind of a summary, rather a summation, if you will, of creation and the theory of relativity. It's just a small chapter, but it's very concise. It relieves you of that tension of being accused of day-age theory, which that's not what the Bible establishes, and we teach that in this resource. Demonstrates the 360-day prophetic year that actually proves and demonstrates to the day when Messiah was cut off, saying who Jesus actually is. The 6 literal days of Genesis, first chapter, those are established as being actual days. So there's really even the question of flat or spherical earth is addressed. Remarkable is the history of Baptists, that accusation. If you don't have it, I would recommend it on behalf of the Lamp Theological Institute. You get this book, Thomas Jefferson, The Art of Power. You can't speak of the political scientists, the original framers of the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence without speaking of the Baptists. And again, that's an accusation. We were people and still are people who do not seek to establish religion in the United States. But the Congregationalists, an expression of state-established religion, they had allied with a political party in the United States called the Federalist Party. And Thomas Jefferson wrote to the Danbury Baptist Association, who were afraid of the Congregationalists, not the government, which would be of, for, and by the people, but because the Congregationalists had successfully lobbied and secured the support of the Federalist Party to levy taxes against free citizens to pay their salary. And Thomas Jefferson wrote to the Danbury Baptist Association, he said, "Believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, that he owes account to none other for his faith or his worship, that the legitimate powers of government reach actions only and not opinions." Jefferson said, "I contemplate with sovereign reverence that act of the whole American people which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state." So the fears of the Baptists who were instrumental in the establishment of this country, which you can't read about early American history without reading about us. You can't read about the Trail of Tears without reading about the Baptists who walked on the Trail of Tears. You can't read much history about churches without the investigative report produced by Samuel Moreland, The Valleys of the Piedmont, those people who dwelled at the foot of the mount. Fascinating history. You won't do much research, seriously do much research, except in a biased manner where you try to avoid sources. One major source, Martyr's Mirror, and it reflects the persecutions by when a Catholic religious order divided and had those who protested internally. Both are recorded through history of persecuting in very cruel manners, if you will, having people executed and put to death. Those were the ones that we identify with as Baptists. So it's a remarkable institute, the Lamp Theological Institute. The resources are from and according to the Bible, lectures through the Bible, actual sermons as they occurred in the ministry of Dr. John Penn as he pastored, voices from the past, if you will. He has more recordings he's placing online. And so it's quite a substantial work. It's available for everyone. Downloads are available. Listening to the messages. So the Institute is quite an expression of how far one can go who aspires to know the Bible and the history of those who supported the Bible from the time of Christ till today, and even see the connection to the Old Testament and what God did with His covenant community then, and then what He does with His covenant people today. It's quite a remarkable demonstration, and it encouraged some that are quite discouraged today because people are, I guess, prosperity gives people the sense of security that there is nothing God is doing to assure what we have today. But there are people who love Him and are called according to His purpose, and this institute reflects that and supports and encourages people who likewise love God and are called according to His purpose. So we don't assemble in vain. We don't. Christ doesn't lord over our church for nothing. He receives the glory in the assembly, and collateral grace is extended to our community as we love our neighbors as ourselves. So enjoy this resource, but publications are forthcoming. Resources are already available. And given the time and the Lord's willingness, we'll finish some of the missing elements, some of the gaps in some of the sermon series and some of the outlines that haven't been updated yet. So continue to pray for Dr. Penn, his wife, and all those that labor and co-labor with him. Have a blessed